Okay, bass and guitars. Let's see what we have. Let's listen to the bass first in context. In this song I have two tracks for bass. One, I called it bass clean, which is just, let's say, the low octave. We just fill up the bottom without getting a lot of attention of the bass. And the second one in the metal part later, where it's the really dirty, fuzzy bass that goes well up into the guitars so that they merge well one into the other. Let's start with the clean bass and see what has been done on it. Let me solo it for a second. So it's really very straight. It's just there to fill up the bottom end. No big things happening here. Oh yeah, okay, a little bit of EQ. Okay, I didn't need anything above. What do we have here? 3K. There's just hiss, nothing valuable here for a clean bass. And then again, carving out a little bit of mids in order to not get an excess of mud and rumble there. Then we love saturation and harmonics and everything. This is what will help a bass cut through in a mix. And if you listen on a phone or a laptop or something, it doesn't help you if you only have like 80 hertz or something, because these devices are not able to play it back. So but while using saturation, this is generating harmonics and overtones and move what you can hear in an upper region, so that even on a small speaker you will be able to hear it, and it will fill up the mix, and you will be able to discern the bass without having a big subwoofer. Let me show you what it does and when I remove it. So it's also adding character. You get nice little fizzy bits, and in the context you don't hear that distortion. It's just melting. It's again like with spices. You don't, when you're eating a dish, you don't want to taste salt, but if you let it out, then it's going to be bland. That's what we're doing here. Let's have a listen in the mix with and without.
Cette jolie dame, le marquis lui a répondu.
In this context, it's really subtle, the bass, but if you remove the saturation, the bass is gone. What else do we have? Our good friend Soothe. Just clean up a little bit of the low end. It's more like let's call it a frequency-dependent compressor. I just wanted to level out the performance a little bit by controlling just the fundamentals. This is brilliant because it just moves along with the notes. So if you have a resonance in the instrument, or if just one note has been hit differently and you get an excess of one frequency, it takes care of it and evens it out really in a really nice way. Then just a little low cut, not to get too much low end, because you will kill your limiter in the master stage if you have too much low end that's going to build up. You won't be able to get a loud mix, because low frequency tend to have a lot of energy and get your compression pumping and just mudding up everything. And then there is nothing below 34 hertz anyway in the bass. So a low E is 40 hertz, and this is rolling off gently. So there is no valuable information here anyway. Then, yeah, I put an emulation of a Pultec EQ. I used the Pultec trick, so boosting and cutting the same frequency at the same time. What this does, it's getting a curve that is boosting the area I want to and carving out around it, so that you don't get a messed up low end, but you're just boosting one region and cleaning up everything around. This works really nicely. Listen to the dramatic change if I bypass this one. Thinner. Get more clean low end around 60 Hertz in the fundamentals. The limiter is doing nothing. It's just adding a dB of gain. That's it. Saturation, bit of compression, and we're good to go. Next, let's have a look at the bass, or let's listen to the bass in the context of the metal part that is going to come. Okay, when I solo the bass, you hear this really fuzzy and there's a lot going on. But as soon as I put in all the other instruments, it's masked away. So we need it for the bass to cut through, in order to hear it also on small devices, and to really blend well with the guitars. Let's have a look at it solo and see what I did to it. A little bit of EQ. We don't need all that really high end. There is nothing valuable here, and just a little cleaning up of the low end. Then I used a pretty new but really nice emulation of an Ampeg bass amp. I really love that one. It's one button and it does what it's supposed to do. I bypass it. This is really dramatic. It's played also in a more aggressive way than the easy part before. So Carol, the bass player, she really gave a lot of energy into the performance, and then we give even a little bit more dirt with distortion. Then this is also again some cleaning up afterwards, cutting away a little bit of the rumble that is caused by the amp. The extreme fizzy bits on top, we don't need it. It's just going to clutter up the space that we need for cymbals and everything. It's good practice to really clean high end and low end that nobody needs. So to leave space for the instruments that definitely need that space. Here again, deboxing a little bit, but I switch it on and off and you hear what it's doing. Getting a little bit more boxy. It's nice. We could do it like this, but I just felt that it fitted nicer into the track by carving out a little bit of this mid and giving a little bit of audible mids that help to cut through. These 900-ish hertz is really great to get a bass to cut through a busy mix. Then, yeah, the limiter. I think maybe actually here the limiter is going to do something. Yeah. I like to really squash it. When it's going to be dirty, let's do it really dirty and shave it off and put it right in your face. That's the treatment for bass. Lots of dirt and lots of character. Let's have a look at electric guitars. We have different sections in this song. Dynamics are very important in this song, so we have a slow build up, so we start very mellow and then get more intense. And the first part where the guitar kick in, give a little extra dimension. They are really here to open up the stage. Let's have a look, just a little pre-roll, and see how the guitars jump into that song. This is really just an effect of opening up and giving some drama to the next part that is coming, which also makes perfectly sense with the lyrics that slowly build up in intensity. The guitars were recorded using real amps. We used a Soldano and an Engel amp. And let's have a look what they sound like isolated here. Very important for this band, they love the shimmer effect. We cannot have enough shimmer. Let me show you what shimmer is. This is a really, really cool plugin. It's from Valhalla. They are $50 one plugin. I'm not sponsored, but I love them. I have them all. They make great reverbs, and shimmer is just something else. Listen to what it does. When I stop, you hear what shimmer does. It's a heavily modulated, pitched reverb thingy that you can create a really, really fairy tale space around instruments. And here it was exactly what we wanted. So like a moving, atmospheric aura around the guitars. EQ-wise, the same thing as with bass. Cut off everything that is not needed below the actual signal. And then for guitars, you really have to be careful with high end, not to clutter up the space that you need for cymbals. Let's have a look what happens if I bypass those EQs. Nope. Okay. Bypass. It's really, really fuzzy, and that might sound nice on its own, but you really have to remember that it doesn't matter how things sound in solo, because I don't think, yeah, you could argue if those guitars sound really nice or not, but they work for what they were supposed to do in the mix, and that is all what matters. And all that fizzy stuff up there and the low end that you might hear when the EQs are bypassed, you really don't need or even don't want it in the mix, because it's just cluttering up everything. So this is with EQ, we just focus on what we need. So carve out a little bit of mud here and there, all the fizz and all the rumble, and they sit really nice. There is nothing on it except a little bit of this shimmer. Here I have, no, I don't have it used. So that's just a little bit of shimmer, that's it. Let's move on to the heavier part and see what we have guitar-wise here. Let's go. Okay, here we have four guitar tracks that are stacked on top and have it's just a blend of different textures, really. So let's listen to them solo as a group. I like to use different sounding sounds and spread them hard left, right to make it big. So the more difference you have between left and right guitar, the wider the stage is going to be. If you play the same guitar on the same pickup with the same amp, with the same setup, everything the same, and you put them hard left and right, although it might be different performance, they will end up in the center, because you have all the same harmonic information, because it's the same instrument, and there's so many similarities that even if you pan them hard left right, they are going to end up seemingly in the center, because it's just so much common information that will sound in that you will hear in the phantom center. So we try to create sounds that are not completely different, but far enough apart sonically that the guitars are going to stay spread and not clutter up the center that we need for vocal space and everything else. Let's have a look at the sounds individually and see what they sound like. This one is thinner and more gnarly, not so pretty on its own, but it's all a matter of context. Soloing too much during mix isn't going to help you. You always have to have a look at the big picture and listen to it in context. I'll show it just for the purpose of demonstrating that the individual sound might not be that interesting, but in context, it's like with spice. You don't eat salt on its own, but you definitely need it in the dish. It's also very aggressive and not all that pretty, but in context, it's just what we needed and what we wanted. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more, then subscribe to the channel, and if you need help with your production, check out the link to Tidalwave Studio in the description below. See you!